If you walk through Tokyo at 3 a.m., the city is blue. The trains have stopped. The salarymen have gone home. The silence is heavy. But on every corner, there is a light. The automatic door opens. You are greeted by a blast of cool air and the smell of fried chicken. White fluorescent light floods the pavement. This is the Konbini, the convenience store. There are over 58,000 of them in Japan. From the frozen north of Hokkaido to the tropical islands of Okinawa, they are the lighthouses of modern society. To the tourist, they are a wonderland of egg sandwiches and unique snacks. But to the people who live here, they are something else entirely. They are the city's life support system, a place where you pay your taxes, pick up your packages, withdraw your cash, and buy your dinner. It feels safe. It feels warm. But look closer. This is not just a shop. It is the most sophisticated surveillance and logistics machine ever built. It knows when you are hungry. It knows what you will buy before you do. And it never, ever sleeps. Welcome to the Konbini Panopticon. To understand why this system is so powerful, we have to look at how it manipulates you, starting with the architecture itself. Nothing inside a Konbini is accidental. Everything is designed to control your behavior. Have you ever noticed that the magazines are always placed right next to the window? This is not for your reading pleasure. It is a psychological trick known as the Tachiyomi strategy. By allowing customers to stand by the window and read, the store looks busy from the outside. A busy store feels safe. It signals to women walking home alone that there are people inside, encouraging them to enter. Then there is the lighting. The average Japanese home is lit at around 500 lux. A Konbini is lit at 2,500 lux. It is blindingly bright. This serves two purposes. First, it makes the food packaging pop, stimulating your appetite. Second, it acts as a crime deterrent. Criminals hate bright lights. But more importantly, it disrupts your circadian rhythm. Inside the store, time does not exist. It is always high noon. It keeps you awake, and it keeps you shopping. Have you ever wondered why the onigiri rice balls are always fresh? Why the shelves are never empty, but never overflowing? It isn't magic. It is a mathematical miracle known as Tampenkanri, or item-by-item management. Every Konbini is a data terminal. The headquarters doesn't just send trucks. They send algorithms. The system tracks everything. It knows that a local school has a sports festival tomorrow, so it orders 200 extra bottles of sports drink. It knows that it will rain at 5 p.m., so it stocks 30 umbrellas by the door at 4:30 p.m. It creates an illusion of abundance. The trucks arrive multiple times a day, navigating the narrow streets with surgical precision. They call it the just-in-time system. If the truck is 10 minutes late, the system breaks. If the truck is 10 minutes early, there is no space. It is a high-wire act of efficiency performed 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. And for the customer, it creates a seamless reality where your desires are met the moment they occur. But this efficiency comes at a terrible price. The dark side of this freshness obsession is high-key food waste. The rule is absolute. If a bento box is set to expire at 2 p.m., it must be removed from the shelf at 1 p.m., not sold at a discount, not given to the homeless, thrown away, in the garbage. Every single day, tons of perfectly edible food are incinerated because the system demands perfection. The headquarters forces the local owners to overstock, knowing that waste will happen, because an empty shelf is a sin in the religion of convenience. The cost of that waste often falls on the local owner, not the corporation. This brings us to the true victims of the Panopticon, not the customers, but the owners. We often imagine the Konbini owner as a friendly local entrepreneur. The reality is closer to indentured servitude. Most Konbini are franchises. The contract you sign with the headquarters is brutal. The most famous clause is the 24-hour rule. You are legally obligated to keep the store open 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. There are horror stories of owners who cannot close their store even when their parents die. Owners who work 40-hour shifts because they cannot find staff. Owners who sleep in the back office for minutes at a time. The headquarters takes a massive cut of the gross profit, leaving the owner with pennies. If the owner tries to close for a single night to rest, they are sued for breach of contract. They are prisoners in their own castle, watched over by the same cameras that watch you. And let's talk about that watching. The word Panopticon comes from a prison design where the watchman can observe all inmates without them knowing. In the Konbini, the The watchman is the point of sale register. Watch the clerk the next time you buy a coffee. They scan your item. Then they pause. Their finger hovers over a special set of buttons on the screen. They are not just confirming the price. They are recording you. Blue button for male, pink button for female. Then the estimated age range: 12, 19, 29, 39, 49, 50 plus. Every single purchase is tagged with your gender and estimated age. 7-Eleven alone processes over 20 million customers a day. That is 20 million data points. They know that men in their 30s buy specific coffees at 8 a.m. They know that women in their 20s crave specific sweets on Friday nights. They are building a ghost profile of the entire nation. You think you are choosing the product, but the algorithm analyzed your demographic, predicted your behavior, and placed that product exactly at your eye level. You didn't choose. The system chose for you. So, who keeps this machine running? In the daylight, you might see Japanese housewives or students. But come back at night. When the city sleeps, the face of the Konbini changes. You will see name tags that say Gwyn, Kim, or Sing. Japan is a country that famously resists immigration. Yet, its most iconic infrastructure is maintained almost entirely by foreign workers. They are often students on paper, working the graveyard shift to pay for tuition in a language that is not their own. The job is not easy. A Konbini clerk in Japan is not just a cashier. They are a banker, a chef, a postal worker, and a janitor. They have to memorize hundreds of manual pages. How to process utility bills. How to fry the famichiki to the perfect golden brown. How to handle ticket reservations for Disneyland. They do all of this for minimum wage. They are the shadow workforce. Essential, yet invisible. They are the human batteries in a machine that runs on efficiency. If they stopped working, Tokyo would stop functioning in 48 hours. But the machine treats them like replaceable parts. When their visa expires, they leave, and a new student takes their place behind the counter. Despite the surveillance, despite the exploitation, despite the waste, we cannot hate the Konbini. Because when the world falls apart, the Konbini is the only thing left standing. March 11th, 2011. The Great East Japan Earthquake. January 1st, 2024. The Noto earthquake. When the ground shook and the lights went out, the supermarkets closed. The train stopped. The government was slow to react, but the Konbini lights stayed on. Using their independent disaster networks and backup batteries, Konbini owners, the same ones trapped in those brutal contracts, opened their doors. They handed out water, rice balls, and batteries to terrified citizens. In the freezing dark, that white fluorescent light was a symbol of hope. It has become the fourth infrastructure after water, gas, and electricity. Elderly people in rural villages use it as a bank because the real banks have closed. Women walking home late at night route their path to pass by Konbinis for safety. It is the modern village shrine. We have entrusted our survival to a corporation. The Japanese Konbini is a miracle. It is the most convenient place on earth. It anticipates your needs. It feeds you when you are hungry. It shelters you when you are lost. It asks for nothing but your loose change. But convenience is a cage. We have built a society where we are dependent on a system that tracks our every move. A system that relies on the silent labor of invisible workers. A system that generates millions of tons of plastic waste in the name of freshness. We live in the glow of the Konbini. It is warm. It is bright. It is safe. But make no mistake, we are not just customers. We are data points in the machine, and the machine never sleeps. Japan has two faces. We show you the one they hide. Subscribe to see the rest.